doing cover crops on our ground, we've noticed the structure getting better. Our soils aren't washing down into the streams like they have probably in the past several years. So as far as it benefiting for me, it's the fertilizer I put down doesn't get washed down the streams. So basically that money I put out in the field will stay basically in my pocket. This cornfield here had oats and radishes, and then up on top of the far hill there, right before those trees, was actually rye on this end. There's actually three different terminations. I think right now we're real in the infancy of knowing how much carbon we're actually storing in the ground. So for the contracts of how much carbon you store and getting paid on, I think that can sway me one way or the other, like what contracts to go for, if I know how much carbon I'm actually putting into the ground. Normally this stuff would be probably another 12 inches taller, but it stunted it, and because it started getting to the reproductive stage, and I suppose, Mother Nature, always throws us a wrench, whether rain or dry. With some of our cover crops, it'll soak up moisture as much as the rye will take moisture away, so it can make the ground too dry. So there's just another management layer that you have to deal with that some other, when you're not doing cover crops, you don't have to deal with. It's very easy to stay status quo. We've always worked the ground. It always grows me a crop. I think there's always new and better ways, but there's always, you've got to try new things, and sometimes those things don't work, but without trying new things, you'll never know.
So when Harmon helps,
like I go for 16.
okay, so he helps you double up.
Yeah.
We want to keep that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we want to remove from before it is separated. Like,
right.
Yeah,
I feel that my job, my calling, my profession is to help, is to augment the perception of that farmer with my science, to help him or her manage in a way that is agronomically, profitable, while at the same time decreasing their environmental footprint. And if we can get more farmers to do that, then what we have is sustainably intensified agriculture. Farmers grow crops, right? And so when those farmers grow those crops are farming carbon. They are storing carbon through photosynthesis and then ultimately the decay of the residue into the soil. The market has to understand farmer risk when adopting practice to store carbon. And I think when that happens and they find a middle ground, you're going to see greater adoption.